Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That's a lot of questions. So many. Yes. Okay, let us take a crack at this. And also each question has 3 parts. When we discussed verse 9, Natamam tani karmani nibadhanti dhananjaya avadasina udasina avadasinavat. That verse, when we discussed that we should not take agency for every action, especially our thoughts, as they are products of Prakriti. Okay? On the other hand, verse 12, Moghasha mogha karmanaha mogha jnanaha vichetasah rakshasim asurimschaiva prakritim mohinim shritaha talks about those having useless desires led into useless actions. How do we take accountability and when? Is the only differentiator when we act on our useless desires? What if someone continues to have intoxicating, useless thoughts but never acts on them, just keeps being drawn to them? Is there some responsibility that needs to be taken for cultivating a different mindset? Yeah, I mean, the spirit of the question is, when is it, what is the difference between akartritvam, non-doership? What is non-doership and non-doership? How is it connected to accountability? Because you can say, I'm not a doer. I didn't do anything. Yeah, but you stabbed this person. Yeah, but it was not me. Prakriti made me do it. Correct? Yeah. One can get away with that. But that is not the idea. The idea is that accountability and doership are on 2 different levels of reality. Accountability, responsibility is all on the level of vyavaharika, means the non-absolute or the relative realm of give, take, do, all these things. Non-doership is at the level of the paramarthika. Paramarthikam sat. What is paramarthikam sat? The absolute reality where all that is there is Atma. And I am that Atma. Non-acting, non-doing, non-experiencing Atma. So we can't mix the 2 levels, right? Because in each case it's a different situation. Here on the level of transactable world, this is a transactional reality. And for human beings to live with one another, and for that matter for us to live with ourselves, the accountability is needed. You can't go on saying, I'm not the doer and I didn't do this. Find how else will you live like that? Suppressing the guilt, pain, all these things. So, accountability is important. Accountability in light of dharma. What is it that I have to do? What is it that I should not do? That is based on dharma. So dharmic accountability is very, very important because it's a way to grow into being a person who is what? Ready for this knowledge. No dharma, no knowledge. So, at the level of first, the dharma is upheld. Dharma is very important on the transactional level of give, take, do, don't do, and who are you, and what is there for you to do, all these things. And then after that, when you have mastered dharma, and then you have mastered Vedanta as a result of mastering dharma, then you can let go of accountability. How do you let go of accountability? By seeing that you are not the doer any longer. And how do you see that you are not the doer? Because you are just the Atma, and this non-doership cannot come before dharma. Otherwise, it will be the defense of every serial offender. Not guilty, my lord, my lady. Why not? By way of non-doership. That will be everybody's defense. I'm not the doer, so you can't put me behind bars. But that's not the case. So here, doership is at the level, non-doership is a cognitive affair which even the Jnani also does things. Jnani eats, Jnani drinks, goes to sleep, teaches, walks, talks. So the Jnani is doing is as though doing, because the Jnani knows I'm not really the doer. And so too, when you get Atma Jnanam, you will also be saying, I am not the doer. But until then, one has to do responsibly, one has to do things dharmically. I hope that makes it clear. Next. Can you explain more about action in inaction, inaction in action? Yes. So, action in inaction. So, suppose I say, I'm just going to simply sit. I'm not going to act. Is sitting an action or not? Yes. That's really simply put, that is action in what you think inaction. Inaction is what is inaction. Inaction means you're not doing anything at all, but sitting is an action. Sitting is will based. You decided to sit this out and not make a choice, but still that's a choice. You have made a choice. By not making a choice, you have made a choice to not make a choice. So since it is will based, it's an action. And then inaction in action and action in inaction. Adi Shankara's example I'll give you. It's like you are going in the boat. You're going in the boat. He must have done that so many times coming from Kerala. He might have gone in the backwaters on the boat, and he's going in the boat, and you see what? As you leave the shore, what do you see? The trees moving. And then buildings moving. Temple towers moving. Are they really moving? No. So, action in inaction. So, like this. Similarly, the Jnani also Pashyan, Shrinvan, Swapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visrujan, Grindhan, Nimishan, Unmishan, Api, Naiva Kinchit Karoti Saha, is not doing anything at all. Navadvare Pure Dehi, Sukham Aste, happily remains this person with a 9 citadel, 9 aperture body fortress, this citadel in the form of the body. Navadvare Pure Dehi, the city, the fortress with 9 apertures. The person, the indweller, remains happily, neither doing nor directing things to be done. So that is, in short, action in inaction, inaction in action. Can you explain more about, this one is done. And then what else? Why are there two Dakshina Murtis in the temple? The large stone one and the bronze one. Well, one of them, goes places. Yeah. The other one cannot go places. Yeah. Yeah. So, which one goes places? Because the other one, you'll have to line up some chiropractors and orthopedic surgeons if you want to lift the other one and take it places. It probably weighs close to 1,000 pounds. Nobody has weighed him, but it's solid granite. Can't go anywhere. So, in every temple we have this custom where you have Moolavar. Moolavar means the original deity, which does not go anywhere. See, in those days, everybody, it was a very interesting practice where the god went out to greet you on certain festivals and occasions. Bhagavan, the deity, went out to greet you because they had some terrible practices of women not being allowed and certain people not being allowed to study the Veda, to visit the temple. But even then, no problem. Why? Because this fellow, the bronze one, would be put on a chariot, small chariot. And then everybody, from the king to the pauper, no problem. Nobody could say, you can't touch this Bhagavan, it's not for you. No, it was going to every single road in the village. And it would not make much strides, because 2 steps everybody would be chanting and then people would be pulling. The king would be pulling with the commoner. Every men, women, children would climb and sit next to Dakshinamurti on the chariot. They would be enjoying a free ride. Nobody told them to get off. And then it would be pulled through all the streets, the rich neighborhood, poor neighborhood, no such distinction. Everywhere it would go, and it would not go very fast, because every 2 steps they are chanting, because it's hard to pull, they are chanting, they are doing this. And then people would come out from their houses, do arati, give offerings. And so the bronze one is very much a people person. Yeah. And the Dakshinamurti who stays inside is he is in his own glory. He doesn't see many people. People come to see him. He doesn't see. This one, when we did the Kumbhabhishekam, he also went around the temple 3 times. He also greeted everybody. And so that is the idea. Very interesting. Has a historical significance. Nobody can be kept away from Bhagavan. Can you please explain the hold of Vasana? What hold? Yeah, and how to get rid of the Vasana from the Purva Janma. Don't worry about Purva Janma, because we don't know what we did in the last life. We don't know what Vasanas are there. Right now, what Vasanas are there, tackle them. Vasanas are like noodles. If you pick up one, all of them come along. Yeah. So choose which Vasana to take care of, and then don't worry about it. There is a kind of a philosophy that says Vasana Kshaya, that all the Vasanas must be destroyed before you can have moksha. That's not true, because Vasanas are Satyam or Mithya? Mithya. Abba, I'm so happy the correct answer came. Yeah, unanimously that too. So, yeah, Vasanas are Mithya. We don't worry about it. Yeah, so you can say, okay, I don't want to go down this road. Let's say there is a Vasana, means a kind of a mental formation, like a deja vu of anger, of pain, of sorrow. I don't want to go there. You can do some japa, you do some meditation, nididhyasana. You distract yourself, you go somewhere else, you come back, and you do something else to not fall into that trap, and then that's all, you slowly come out of it. Not a big deal. If you're studying Vedanta, they drop by themselves. If we define all-knowing as all that I know and all that I don't know, then what happens with what I don't know that I don't know? What? What was that? What I don't know that I don't know. Does that exist for me? It doesn't. It doesn't exist for you. That's why I can't make head or tail of it. Yeah, it does not exist. You never say, I don't know that I don't know. Because even in saying I don't know that I don't know, that means you know that you don't know. Okay? So that category doesn't exist. That's why we can get away with brandished statements like, you are all-knowing. Yeah, that is how we can get away with it. If karma prescribed for ancestors are not done, what are the consequences? They'll be sad. Yeah. They'll be sad. Oh, I didn't get tarpanam. Nobody loves me anymore. That's all. Do we want them to be sad? No. So whenever we can, we invite them into all the functions of our house. It's called Nandi. So honoring the ancestors. And then they have a fortnight dedicated to them. And what is that called? Pitrapaksha. First it used to be a whole month. Then people got tired of attending to the ancestors for a whole month. So then they said, Paksho vai masaha. Means 15 days is, let us consider it a month. So 15 days at the end of September sometime it comes, and they do this 15 days of ancestor worship. So all the omissions and commissions, if you have forgotten some ancestors, all these things, there are specific days for female ancestors, specific days for boy ancestors, men ancestors, etc., etc. So anybody who has been forgotten, anybody who has been omitted, this is the time to make up for it. So that they are not sad. We don't want them to be sad. We want them to be a blessing, presence, and continue. When they were alive, they were blessing us, and we want them to continue to bless us. That's the idea. They won't curse or anything, okay? That's why I didn't go there. In what sense does a jnani enjoy a chocolate cake? I can see how an ajnani experiences a cessation of desire, but the jnani is abiding in something. Not cake, but something else. In the pramana. In the something. I really can't make that out. In the something. Right? So what is the point? So the point is that, the enjoyment is fine. We are not talking of enjoyment. The enjoy means what? I am the one, enjoy. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can enjoy the chocolate cake. We are talking of an addiction. We are talking of, the chocolate cake is a upalakshana, it's a metaphor. It's not really chocolate cake. It could be anything. It could be an addictive substance. It could be an addictive, dysfunctional relationship. It could be my own something, notions that I'm addicted to. So it could be many, many things. So if anything I feel I cannot do without, and I have to have it, and that is what is going to make me happy. I was trying to bust that myth that the chocolate cake does not have the power to make you happy, because if it had the power to make you happy, it would make you happy all the time. And I gave some instances where it definitely won't make you happy. So for the ajnani, the chocolate cake becomes perhaps a binding, addictive desire. For the jnani, it's a non-binding desire, in the sense, if it is there, well and good. If it is not there, even better. And then there is another part to this question. Let us see. In what I feel a little bit less of a desire to participate in rituals these days. How can I tell whether it's a product of understanding that the rituals does not produce jnana versus just satisfying tamasic desires and not seeing antahkarana shuddhi as an immediate result of the ritual? Fantastic question. Yes, I would also like to know the difference. Yeah, very nice. So, you put the ritual aside and see if there are also other areas where you don't feel like participating. Okay, the ritual is already a charged topic. So don't take that as the litmus test. What do you look for? You look for all the other areas where do you also not feel like participating? Do you not feel like brushing teeth? This is serious, okay? Yeah. Do you not feel like changing clothes? Do you not feel like taking a shower? Then if you have answered yes to any one of them, then that means it is tamas. It is some kind of a depression where you have, tamas means apathy here. There is apathy has set in. So if you are able to find joy in everything, except what? You are able to participate enthusiastically in everything, but you are having trouble with rituals, then we need to talk. And then again, it may not be that because one is having Atmajnanam and the ritual is not speaking to you that much. That we leave as the last resort answer. And another possibility could be that there is some disconnect generally in life, or some disconnect with religious rituals, where is perhaps a growth spurt as a result of which there is something coming up. So we need to look into that. And if that is also not the case, then we can say that, okay, I'm growing out of the rituals, I don't see the point of them. But you can still enjoy them. Maybe somebody else wants you to participate, so you can still enjoy them as though. Next one. What happens with regards to karma if someone takes their life before they finish their lifetime? Then there will be something called shishta prarabdha. Supposing somebody takes their own life, commits suicide. Let's say their prarabdha was 80 years, and then they took their life at 65. How many years are left? 15 years are left. So this is called shishta prarabdha. And then, so sometimes what can happen is that they will have a separate life to live, not the new prarabdha that is going to come to them, but the old prarabdha that is not quite finished. So you could have somebody who lives up to the age who is born, who lives out till the age of 15 and then passes away. This is called shishta prarabdha. So this is possible. And this is why it is very disturbing when young children die, when young children pass away without having led their full lives. But this is the reason, that in the last life something happened. Either they abused the free will, either they committed suicide, or they need not commit suicide. There is also a polite form of suicide where you just abuse the body with all kinds of things and then it comes to an end. So that also could be there. Using the free will, they abuse the body, and then next life they have a short lifespan to fulfill the previous prarabdha. That is one possibility. Yeah. If it is not against Vishesha Dharma, in the sense if the state allows it, then it's okay. And in the Hindu tradition, euthanasia is permitted. It is okay. Yeah. If you know it's a terminal case and you don't benefit from helping them, that should also be there. Oh, I am in their will. Okay, here, have a few pills. I am in your will. No. Yeah. Not in that situation. Then it is papa karma. Yeah. Then it is papa karma. One has to be completely and totally dispassionate if one is helping. But really speaking, leave it to the state. Leave it to the professionals. Don't take on this role. Yeah, we don't take on this role, we leave it to the professionals, and there are many states where this is allowed. All you have to show them is that you're going to have a terrible life if you continue to live because of you're in the throes of this disease. If the person is able to show that they are in the throes of this disease, there is a possibility. Many states allow it. And so it's best, because there are areas of ambiguity, because there is a connection between the will and the pill, so we don't come in the way. So there is many areas of ambiguity, so you play it safe. You don't help anybody take their life, no matter what the circumstances are. Because it's Bhagavan's job. Yes?
Well, what about an animal who is suffering?
Yeah, animal is different. Animal is different because it's a different kind of a karma and it is dependent on you completely and you don't want to see it suffer. What? If someone commits suicide, yes. Yes, it does. Because suicide is a papa karma. That's why we don't aid and abet, because we are helping somebody do papa. It's not good. So if somebody commits suicide, then yes, they will have difficult karma in the next life. No, we are not talking of pain. We are just talking of just suicide.
But didn't they commit suicide because of pain?
Not necessarily. No. I mean, if you have a terminal diagnosis, it's different. But here we are just talking of, yes, they could have emotional pain, but that's not the only response to emotional pain. There are options. Basically, we have not made this body, we have been given this body, mind, sense complex. It's a prasada, it's a gift. So we have no right to abuse it. That is the idea.
Can I ask a question? Or is too much going on?
No, that's okay. What is your question?
You. So I heard and I had read in the Shastra that if somebody does suicide in a young age or for like whatever age for suicide, and then in the next birth, because it's his decision against the God's decisions, he takes a body, no body, no physical body, no sthula sharira, only sukshma sharira is hanging out in the air. We call it pretatma, bhuta.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Good.
They can have a human birth then?
Yeah, they can have a
Depend
human
upon their
birth.
karmas?
Depends on all the karmas.
Oh, I
it's
see.
not just this one karma. You see, we are only seeing one slice of life. We are seeing one karma, that of taking their own life. But they can have many kinds of births.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it will be bhoot and then that's the end of it. He will never
No,
see
no.
anybody to complete his vasanas or desires.
No,
Astu,
not like
astu.
that.
Dhanyavad.
Can you talk little bit about Ishvara Pranidhana? Yeah, Ishvara Pranidhana means that surrender to Bhagavan. In the Yoga Sutra, this comes. Ishvara Pranidhana. In the Yoga Sutra, it is a step to gaining more equanimity and everything. In the yoga system of philosophy, for us, it is a very, it's incumbent. This is contingent upon this, is the understanding of our vision. So, without resolving the pains in Ishvara, because Ishvara is the one you get angry with. Why did you give me this kind of a karma? Why is my parentage like this? Why is my life like this? Why is somebody else's life so glossy and wonderful? It all looks wonderful, okay? You go live with them and you see what is there behind. No wonder all the celebrities have hidden pains and sorrows. But the celebrities, when you look at them from far away, they are perfect. Their bodies are perfect. They have everything they want. They suddenly feel like going to Paris for dinner. They can. It's just a 9-hour flight. I can just hire a private jet and just go. What's the big deal? Let's do it. We'll do it. My favorite restaurant, where is that? It's in Paris. My favorite hairdresser, oh, he's in London. That's what we see from the outside. But from the inside, there is a lot of pain. There is a spiritual poverty many times. And so we don't know. And so Ishvara Pranidhana means resolving my pains, my sorrows, settling accounts with Bhagavan. How do you settle accounts with Bhagavan? Because you can't go after everybody who has wronged you from age 0 to 65. All the people who have wronged you, you cannot settle accounts each and every one. So you say, all this happened because of whom? Ishvara. Who are these people? Why did these people come into life? Karma. Who is this karma because of? Ishvara. And so you settle account with Ishvara. This is called Prathama Malla Nyaya, the maxim of the champion wrestler. Prathama Malla Nyaya. The champion wrestler logic. What is the champion wrestler logic? You go to a village and you want to be the best wrestler. What do? Do you have to start fighting with every street urchin? No. You knock off the reigning champion and then you become the champion. Simple. So here also, all these problems Even though you say it's because of this one and because of that one, really speaking, when you look at it broadly, it's because of karma. Who is the giver of the fruits of karma? Ishvara. So you settle accounts with Ishvara. All your anger you direct against Ishvara. In our tradition, it's not blasphemy, it is what? A prayer. It's our own prayer. And we have crazy saints like that in the tradition. One of them used to kick Lord Shiva, and the other one used to spit on the Shivalinga and say, "Hey, you want Abhisheka? Here. How do you like that?" Yeah. And we have all kinds of saints, and they are saints because their bhakti surpasses the form. Surpasses the form. And so therefore, they are, that is what bhakti really is. So, Ishvara Pranidhana means complete settling of accounts with Ishvara so that this anger goes. And it's easy and safe to settle accounts with Ishvara because Ishvara doesn't talk back, unlike the significant other. Yeah. So if you tell Ishvara, you are terrible, you have given me the worst karma in the whole world. Smiling face. Don't fear when I am here, hand mudra. Why did you do this? And so the anger, the pain dies away, giving in the wake of this surrender. It gives way. And so that's why it is very important, because Ishvara Pranidhana gives a tranquil mind, because of which I can become ready for this knowledge. Abhisheka, offerings of milk, ghee, bananas, sandalwood liquid poured over the deity. What does each of this mean? Bhagavan is having a spa day. Yes. Yeah, like Cleopatra, who refused to bathe in water. She had to bathe in scented milk with all flower petals and all. How nice it feels. We can't have this every day. Imagine bathing in sandalwood water every day. We can't do that. But we can vicariously enjoy it by pouring it over Bhagavan. So we want Bhagavan to look good, because when he looks good, then there is a tejas, a power to bless comes. So we bathe Bhagavan in all these things that makes the face shine. The face softens and shines. Banana face mask. Okay. Panchamrita. Banana honey. Honey tightens the skin and closes the pores. And then is also an antioxidant. Banana honey face mask. And then what else? Rose water infusion. And then sandalwood water toner. Yeah. And then of course milk, butter, ghee, all these things. This is all a certain kind of a seva. You make the bath very, very special. You make the bath very, very special, and also it helps you to not get distracted, You can focus. Otherwise, if it's just water, okay. That's why it's not like, you don't have if you don't go to the temple, in each temple, you don't have a small shower upon the head of the deity, and you just turn it on and say the mantras. Very anticlimactic. You have to pour and watch it just settle and be the face mask, and then take a pick. Yes.
I wanted to ask, when they take his clothes off to So when they do the Abhishekam to Lord Dakshinamurti and they take everything off, the first thing that I notice is his waist. He's
Yeah.
really, really, really thin.
Yeah.
Um,
He's
And
only
then-
16.
oh.
Yeah.
And then he has the moon and the sun.
Yeah.
And then when they finish placing whatever they place on him, they put a flower on his head.
Yeah.
And then they offer the light. So can you explain what does that do to the energy, the moon and the sun energy in the body? And when they put the flower on his head, does that indicate like a Kundalini awakening?
No. What it indicates is that the spa day is finished. It's the last Abhisheka. The spa appointment has come to an end. That's all it indicates. That's the final one. And he also knows he's not expecting one more liquid and one more face mask. So he can also relax. Okay, it is over. And then so you show the light. Sometimes you show the light after everyone if it's a really special one. So, or in the end you show the light and then he's bathed in Ganga water, if Ganga water is available. Otherwise you put a thimble full of Ganga water and the rest of it tap water. And then you say a mantra, Gange cha Yamune chaiva, Godavari Saraswati, Narmade Sindhu Kaveri, Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. So like this, you invite all the holy waters from all the rivers to enter this pot of water. You sanctify and make the pot of water sacred, and then you say the final bath is this, and you put a flower. That's all it is. It is not about either Kundalini or Linguini or any ini. Okay. Yeah. Well, this was the spa day was a popular question, huh? Yeah. These are all empty. This is for tomorrow, I think. And what is this one? Today you said that Prakriti is doing everything. I didn't say that today, I said that yesterday. Okay. So, and knowing that makes it easy to be free from guilt and hurt. Can you break it up step by step process? I would like to be free from guilt and hurt. Yeah. To be free from guilt and hurt, you have to study the Shastra. That is the best way to be free from guilt and hurt. But relatively, we can help ourselves. So let's say a thought comes. Step 1, I have to say that. Otherwise they'll say step by step was not done. Step 1, the thought comes. Immediately, first I have identified with the thought. That's why the guilt also comes along with the thought. And then immediately I get into sakshita, sakshi bhava. I become the witness. Step 2. Then I say, what a strange and a horrible thought. Where on earth did you come from? Am I not doing enough japa? Am I not, leading a sattvic life? Why are you tormenting me? And you keep coming like this. What's wrong with you? Who are you? And the next step, I forgot the number, the next step is to say, whoever you are, I am distancing myself from you because I don't really feel this way. It is just a random thought from somewhere. So I am disidentifying myself from you. I am the thinker, but the thinker is a superimposition upon the Atma anyway. The status of the thinker being a superimposition upon the Atma, I am distancing myself from you. I don't want this at all. And so, you can come and you can go. I am not going to attach to you. This is the last step. Same way, you do this with every single thing in the life. The more you do it like this, the more easier it is to be free of guilt. Next one. Also, how does one worship Bhagavan in oneness from oneness? This was talked about here. Ananya Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti means, I know I am one with you, but from the standpoint of this body, mind, sense complex, you are all-knowing, you are the cause of the Jagat, and so I pray. You don't necessarily pray for yourself, you pray for everybody. I pray for everybody to be peaceful, I pray for everybody to be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, that's a good oneness prayer, because you're praying for everyone, with everyone. Sarve santu niramayaha, let everybody be happy, let everybody be free from distress. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, let everybody see only the auspicious in everyone else. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, let no one have to partake of sorrow. Very nice it is. Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu, let everybody be happy. All the people, let them be happy. In this way, I can have sarvatma bhava. I can pray on behalf of everybody. And the prayer is also more free rather than charged if one is a jnani. How do we think about love in our understanding of Bhagavan as infinite consciousness, which we also are? If we are one, can we share love with Bhagavan? If so, how? It's yes, we are one, but there is nothing sharing. You are that love. That love which is free of conditions is Bhagavan, is you. There is no sharing. Sharing means there will be anantya hanihi. The loss of infinitude will be there because there will be two entities. There are no entities here for sharing. It's all one. That love is Bhagavan. So that has to be understood. How does our experience of human love relate to the existence of the self that is one with infinite consciousness? How does our experience of human love relate to our existence? That existence itself is all love. The dynamic form of limitlessness is love. The dynamic form of Ananda is love. When it is latent, it is Ananda. When it is alive and acting in a capacity, when it is manifest, in a manifest form, it is called love. That's what it is. So, it's all the question of manifestation. So the expression of human love is nothing but a small portion, a tiny fraction of the love that is you. The relational love is a tiny fraction of the love that is you. We talked about how the other means of knowledge besides Shabda Pramana are not useful in gaining this knowledge. However, we use analogies, similes to help. In fact, the Shastra itself is doing this. I know none of these analogies is perfect, so how do we understand the role of comparisons in getting closer to the understanding? Very nice. Yeah, because there are many kinds of analogies, we will closely pick out a few. And that's why we don't have much other than rope, snake, pot, clay. Those analogies should speak to you, and those analogies must be free of subjectivity, secondly, and thirdly, they should go along with the Shastra. It is called Shruti Anukula Upama, Shruti Anukula Yukti, a logic that goes along with the Shruti. We cannot use logic which does not prove the Shruti. We don't need to prove the Shruti, we need to understand the Shruti. So a logic that does not help us understand the Shruti, it's going to confuse us more, we don't use that. So we are very selective and picky. Atma is like space. That's all pervasive, cannot be divided. Atma is like sun, all light, shines the light, reveals everything, brings everything to light. These are the only two things. We are very picky. We have to be choosy about using of the analogies. And besides, if you don't use analogies, how are you going to make this understood? So that is why we have to use the analogies. You mentioned that everything is mithya, including space and time. How can you please elaborate? Well, time is relative. This we found out long time ago. And even more recently, the Industrial Revolution changed forever the concept of time. That's how we know it is mithya. Before, everybody woke up whenever they wanted, worked as much as they wanted, and then they worked together in families, in their home, and then they would not just make one small little piece and then send it away somewhere else. They were not alienated from the product. And there was a kind of a wholeness in the way they worked together as a family. And then these machines came, the cotton gin and so many other machines, weaving machines, electrification of so many things, speeding up the work process. And of course, you can't let everybody have a machine in their house. So you put the machine in one place and then put a big siren. Okay, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, everybody has to come here. No lunch break, no tea break. Like this, everything had to be there. And along with that, the labor also fought back for rights. We need this, we need holidays, we need breaks. We cannot work without all this. And we need to negotiate how much we are going to pay and get paid. All this was there. So now we have to see this very, very carefully. This itself shows us that time is a construct. Before there was no 9 to 5. No concept of weekend. Every day was a weekend. No concept of weekend. No concept of this kind of 9 to 5. But now that is here to stay. It went away for a little while during the pandemic, but then it has come back. So that itself shows that how arbitrary time is. Time is not absolute. If time were absolute and Atma is absolute, you have two absolutes. You can't have two absolutes. There has to be only one absolute. And so, how do I know that time is mithya? Time is mithya because I can observe time. Time does not observe me. Time is insentient. Same thing with space. Space is also relative. And space also is a product of Atma. This says so in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Tasmat va etasmat atmanah akashah sambhutah. Out of this Atma alone has come space. Then, what's the difference between Ishvara, Bhagavan and Paramatma? All of them are brothers. No, they are all the same. Triplets. So, when I'm uncomfortable and when desire a distraction, I scroll through social media on my phone, Instagram, YouTube. Are you doing this in the classes? Yeah. Okay. I justify this by saying that some of it is uplifting, spiritual quotes, bhajans, etc., but it's mixed with ads Ads, yeah. Celebrity gossip, yeah. Is it better to avoid social media entirely? Well, that's up to you, you know. Yeah, it's up to you. If you want to avoid it, avoid it. Nothing, no harm. You will not be harmed if you avoid it. But there is something, there is a word called doom scrolling. That is something that has to be avoided. So a little distraction here, watching a video on kittens or puppies or something like that is not going to harm you, okay? Yeah. Or listening to some bhajan or something like that is not going to harm. It's okay. But if it becomes an addiction, then you have to watch for it. Could you please share the knowledge of Saturn transit between, no, not Saturn transit. It was the Jupiter transit between Taurus and Gemini. Every 12 years, should we do mantra japa? Not every 12 years, every year. Jupiter goes and then it finishes the whole zodiac in 12 years. And so it is very likely that whatever you were doing 12 years ago, you might be, or wherever you were 12 years ago in your life, not physical location, but emotionally and at any kind of a crossroads perhaps you were 12 years ago, you might be doing the same thing now. That is the idea. So it's not that it goes from Taurus to Gemini every 12 years, but every year it goes from one zodiac sign to another. Next year it will go from Gemini to Cancer. And Cancer is the sign of exaltation for Jupiter. Jupiter loves being in Cancer, and this is a place where Jupiter gets a lot of power. So that will be an important transit when a planet goes into exaltation. So like this, that is what it is. And then the other thing is that depends, you see, this is called Gochara Brihaspati. Gochara means the one that is traveling. Just like the Moolavar and the Utsavar, we have two Jupiters in the in each horoscope. One that is stationary in the sense that it's the blueprint of where the planets were at your birth. When you were born, where was the Jupiter? Maybe the Jupiter was in the 5th house. And now that is called natal Jupiter, and now this is called the transiting Jupiter. So this, what we were marking day before yesterday, was the transit of Jupiter from Taurus to Gemini. And then, so it depends on where your moon sign is, where your natal Jupiter is, and so many things, where your ascendant is, it will impact differently. It will impact everybody differently. So we pray for everybody by doing this elaborate puja, giving Bhagavan an extra spa, and then pray for, just like you see, the other thing is this, when the water and all the liquids wash away, you can visualize the papas washing away from humanity. It's kind of a nice meditative thing to do. And so, just like all these liquids are coming and being washed away, similarly, may all my papas, may everybody's papa also be washed away. So like that, we can do that. Okay. And then, is the same Saturn that causes 7 years? No, that was Jupiter. Yes, this is Saturn that causes 7 years, in 7.5 to be precise, in the individual life, unfavorable incidents. I won't call them unfavorable incidents. These are opportunities to grow. Brihaspati, Jupiter is a teacher, Saturn is also a teacher. Their methods are different. Yeah. Jupiter says, come, sit down, let us study. Saturn takes off your shirt. You lose your shirt and you lose this rug that you were standing on also. Saturn says, deal. This is also a teaching. Yeah, this is also a teaching. So this 7.5 years is when the Saturn is transiting through the 12th house from the moon sign and through the first house and the second house of a individual's horoscope. Okay? Then you have 7.5, because Saturn is slow. He's very slow. It takes 2.5 years to cross one zodiac sign. Very, very slow fellow. And also in the myth, he is lame. So he kind of, poor thing, has to drag himself across the zodiac. We have to feel sorry for him, yeah. He's dragging himself across the zodiac, so he's not in a rush. He has to sit down, massage his leg because it's hurting, he has gone there. And then when he visits, he has unique ways of teaching. He gives you vairagya instantly by taking away everything that you own. It could be like that. He has drastic methods. So during this time, you just don't see. He's also a disciplinarian. His energy is frugal. He's a minimalist. That person who teaches minimalism, what's her name? Kondo, Marie Kondo. I'm sure she has a strong Saturn somewhere in her chart. Minimalist. And so you know all these things about him. Now you have to live with him for 7 years. You also shed, okay? With the help of the study of the Upanishad, you also start to shed. You also become a minimalist. Then he can't do anything. He'll say, oh, I was going to take this away, but they have given everything away. Yeah. And he's a disciplinarian. You also get into a regimen. Get up early, do yoga, and then, go for a run, go for a walk, do all these things. Then he can relax. You can also relax. This is the way to outwit Saturn, by being in step with him every single day. It's kind of nice. It's a very nice way to be. Okay, next. Is there a bija mantra that one can recite? Many mantras are there. I heard any mantra will work. You don't have to have anything specific. So there is one mantra, Neelanjana Samabhasam, Raviputram Yamagrajam, Chaya Martanda Sambhutam, Tam Namami Shanaishwaram. You can chant that. Then I heard that when Saturn comes in the second house, third house, not second house. When Saturn comes in the third house, it brings fame, wealth, and good health to the individual. Yes, because after giving 7.5 years of, what should I say? Yeah, after giving 7.5 years of hard time, then, okay, you have passed the test. Now good times are ahead. But then on the previous side also, 11th house Saturn does a lot of things. Puts you on a pedestal, and then 12th house, calm down. That's all about keeping the ahankara in check. Okay, last one. Let's see. These are directions to the Shanti trail. No, it's this way. Okay? Yeah. So, Maya seems to be portrayed as something to overcome. Why did this Maya come to exist? She doesn't exist, okay? She is a as-though entity. Physical force like gravity. No. Does it have a positive role in the universe? Of course. She is the creative power. She is the goddess. She is all knowledge. Ichha Shakti Jnana Shakti Kriya Shakti Swarupini. The power to desire is from her. The power to do Kriya Shakti, the power to know, all this is her. Without her, there is no universe. So she is a positive force. When we say we have to overcome Maya, you replace it with Ajnanam, Avidya, then it will become very clear. Okay? It's just Maya, the shadow side of Maya, which affects me, I overcome. What is the entity that is subject to vasanas and undergoes rebirth? It's not the Atman that cannot be tainted, nor it is the body which falls. Great question. It is that which is the Jiva. Who is this Jiva? Atma with a lot of complaints. That's what it is. A complaining Atma that is discontented, not satisfied, is called Jiva. Okay? All right. I can't believe we finished all of it. Yes. So the next satsang will be when? Day after tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Niyati Shambhavi is asking for the recordings. Yeah, but she doesn't want on YouTube. She wants in a downloadable form. Yeah.